Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. And the very next day, you gave it away. Gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Hey, Michael, what time of year is it?
It's that good old time of Hanukkah and Christmas and holidays.
And the holiday. It's Christmas time, Michael.
It's Christmas time. Do you like that song?
I
used to love that song, and now I don't know if I do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I might not like that song anymore. I didn't realize how much it got played on the radio.
I have a friend who invented something he calls the Last Christmas Challenge, where you have to see how long you can go into the Christmas season without hearing that song.
Oh, too late.
But he also has a running theory that it's impossible to make it to Christmas Day.
It's impossible to make it to December.
I went to December.
You haven't heard it yet?
Oh, I'm sorry. I almost made it to December.
Yeah,
I forgot that December was today.
Yeah, today's December. Dude, I don't know, man. Either way, welcome to Life's What You Rate It, the podcast where my brother and I rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10. And let's start with that song. Last Christmas. What would you give it?
Like a 5.
A 6, I would go. It's not bad, I guess.
I forget every single year I'll hear Last Christmas. I'm like, oh, I freaking love this song. They really like that hook, don't they? They freaking love that chorus, dude.
There are two, I think, there are two songs that I think probably get overplayed more than any other Christmas songs. And that's one is Last Christmas. 2 is
I Want a Hippopotamus, because by nature of it being played one time, it's been overplayed.
Fair point, because that is definitely a 1 out of 10 song. That song is absolute butt trash.
For Christmas.
Santa Baby is also bad.
Oh, it's bad.
Santa Baby is a bad song.
What other songs from the Taylor Swift Christmas EP that she uses do you want to dunk on?
Oh, I was gonna
because she does both of those.
Whoever does that, and I believe that this is actually factually true. The worst Christmas song ever is Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time. It's a terrible song, and it's so repetitive. It's like one of the most repetitive things.
What about Wonderful Christmas Time?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's what it's called?
Yeah, Simply Having Wonderful Christmas Time.
By John Lennon?
Yeah, maybe one of the worst things he's ever done. Dude, I don't know, man.
Did I say the right Beatle?
I don't know who it is. I was going to make Is it Paul McCartney?
I hope so.
I think it's Paul McCartney. So yeah, you said the wrong Beatle.
Yeah,
good joke. Man, dude, what Christmas songs do you like?
Fall Out Boy has a funny Christmas song.
What about there's a pop punk song that came out for Christmas. I want to say that it's Simple Plan, maybe? Doesn't Simple Plan have like a pop punk Christmas song?
I don't know. I know Blink does.
What does Blink sing?
Blink is
the Simple Plan one is like, it's Christmas and I want everything. I just can't wait. That's a good one.
Reliant K? Is Santa Claus Coming to Town?
So Reliant K has a lot of good Christmas.
I like a lot of that album. I like Baby It's Cold Outside. Now, Baby It's Cold Outside is a date rape song, factually, but I like duets.
Is it really? He just asked if she wants to stay because it's cold outside a bunch of times. And he says it a lot of times.
Hey, Michael?
He says it a lot of times.
Hey, Michael? What's in this drink?
Okay. Maybe it's just cinnamon. Have you ever considered that possibility?
It's weird. I had a lot of montage styled doodles and jots. Cinnamon, I'm gonna have to redo all of those with cinnamon being added into the equation.
It could have just been cinnamon. Have you ever had some good apple cider that's cinnamony? So good.
I don't like warm apple cider, and I feel like a cinnamon would be
a gross cold flavor. You don't like warm apple cider?
No.
You drink it cold like a monster?
As a general rule, I like cold drinks.
Yeah, me too, but it's supposed to be warm.
No, it's better cold. Anything that's sweet is better cold.
Cold apple cider
Is dope.
is a 7 out of 10.
That's fair.
Warm apple cider is a 9 out of 10.
No, it's a lower 7.
You're drinking a warm drink right now.
Because I feel like my throat is going to murder me.
You could have said that we can't record. Well, we can't skip 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Last week, here's how we did it, right? We went on vacation last week to a good old thing called Buckeye Christmas, which we're going to talk about now because I was going to take a week off, Life's What You Rate It, and we were going to post a vlog about Buckeye Christmas. And so we took a week off for Buckeye Christmas, and we went out there and we recorded a bunch of video.
When you say a week off, you mean a week off from this show. Everything else went up while we were gone.
Yeah, I didn't keep the Instagram as much as I wanted to, but all the everything else posted.
All the other, all the shows
we didn't miss any other
do.
show. We meant to miss Life's What You Rate It so we could post a vlog about Buckeye Christmas and our vacation. We recorded content for it and then never posted it. But now we're here, and I'm going to get the videos from him. We're going to post that this week. Happy Buckeye Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
And so we're going to post that this week. In the meantime, I brought something to the table that I want to write that's relevant to this conversation. That is...
Buckeye Christmas.
Well, Buckeye Christmas is part of it, but I was just going to talk about road trips.
I like road trips.
I don't think we've rated road trips, but in my brain, it feels like something we should have rated by now.
Is it because road trips are very good and we both like them a lot?
I take a lot of road trips, and I like road trips.
Road trips are... Okay, so...
Road trip, brah! I forgot that used to be a podcast we had.
Road trips are just very good. You can listen to music, you hang out with your friends,
you're
get
forced
to go somewhere cool.
You're forced to having good conversation. It's like, what if we were recording this podcast for 14 hours and we just had to figure out something to talk about?
We had to be entertaining for 14 hours straight.
To each other. It's like better than this because right now we're just like talking into a microphone and nobody actually has to be entertained. Like nobody listens to this. Nobody has to be entertained. But when you're in a road trip, you have to figure out how to entertain your person that you're talking to, or you're a bad person, like a bad road tripper.
It's like that time that we drove to Arizona. Is that where Phoenix is?
Yeah, good one.
And me and you stayed up through the night times, and I was like, if I'm not entertaining enough, Michael's gonna fall asleep at the wheel and we're gonna die.
Then we all die.
We all die.
But we won because you kept me awake enough that we are here to this day.
For the people.
For the people.
In a roundabout way, it was for
by
the people.
For the people. We're doing this podcast today in part because of you. And in a large part because of you, because you're the second half of this podcast.
Yeah.
I guess.
So, and arguably...
And almost every time I go on a road trip, I make a special playlist for the trip. And I usually try to cater the playlist to
the audience.
Yes. 1, to the audience. 2, to the estimated duration of the trip. I design road trip playlists so that you can listen to them, and if you did nothing else and did not hit whatever, you would be able to
not hear
a repeat. That's how I design them. So like if we take a short road trip, I do a shorter playlist. Drewby and I once did a road trip to Ohio, and we called it the Broad Trip playlist. And that was a no kidding, like 14-hour playlist, so that we did it. Like we talked, but we kept the playlist going. And we, like, if we heard a repeat, because like you stop the playlist to go to the bathroom or eat, we like skipped the songs that we heard before. And it was a dope thing. Like we also were constantly playing the game of like first person to guess the artist. Because that's always a good road trip playlist thing. You made the playlist, but like we collabed it too. Because like Spotify collab playlists, so whatever. But yeah, first person to guess the artist gets, kudos.
Who won?
I don't know, probably me. But that's just guessing. And Drew was not here to defend himself.
So 100% for sure you.
So definitely me. I got all of the answers right.
I beat him every time he got
including
0.
the songs that he put on there that I didn't know. I got them right.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, just like really obscure pop punk bands. I knew all of them.
Really? That doesn't seem like a thing you would know.
Well, I was making a joke that I wouldn't actually. Well, yeah. Anyway, road trip playlist, good. Road trip conversations, good. On road trips, you get to eat nothing but road trip food, which is drive-thrus and combos.
Just...
I love combos.
I don't think I've ever eaten a combo.
Have you never eaten a combo?
I've never eaten a combo.
How is it possible?
I've never... See, to eat something, you have to pick it up and put it in your mouth.
But combos are so delicious, and they're the perfect... One time, I was on a diet, and I decided that I cared only about caloric intake and not about what I was putting into my body. Caloric intake means calories. And so there was one time when my wife left town and I didn't feel like making any food. I just wanted to play video games, and I ate nothing but 2,000 calories of combos 2 days in a row. And let me tell you the secret about calories versus what you're actually eating. You can eat combos for 2 days and get the correct amount of calories. You do not feel good. Because I guess, according to science, combos do not have the required nutrition to sustain one's healthy self.
So you're trying to tell me, Michael, this is the buck wild thing you're trying to sell me on. You can die of malnutrition if you eat nothing but combos.
Possible. I guess I don't know. I did not try it that long. I only tried it for 2 days, and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like death, though. I just didn't feel good.
What's the closest to death you think you've ever been in from
Salmonella?
eating choice?
Oh. Well, does that count? I don't know what I ate to got salmonella.
To got?
But I got it. Also, I've been sick over this weekend.
How would you rate salmonella?
Salmonella is a 1 out of 10. I don't know why it exists, but it's not good.
Didn't you lose weight?
Yeah, but it wasn't worth it. Also, I mean, I did lose like probably 15 pounds in a week, which I would do now if I could.
Would you get salmonella again to lose 15 pounds in a week?
I don't think so, dude, because that hospital bill was expensive, I bet. I mean, our dad was in the military and it was TRICARE, I'm sure, but like, if I had to pay that, I don't think so. Also, let me just like go into my life for the last couple weeks. We had a vehicle breakdown, so we sold it for $200. Not my favorite thing to do. And then, we had to stay at a hotel because we went on a road trip, and something that I don't like about road trips happened, which is we got stuck in a battle of Jack Frost and, what's a Norse winter god? Jack Frost and
Poseidon.
Jack Frost and the Abominable Snowman got in a fight while we were driving, and we had to stop at a hotel.
Well, I see. Here's the thing. I could have sworn I was sleeping, woke up, and I was like, we took a wrong turn in Albuquerque, woke up in Hoth, dude.
We did take a small trip to Hoth. Man, I do love road trips, and I think we should give them a... What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
I want to say 8 out of 10, and only reason not higher is because it is pretty easy to have a bad road trip. I've had bad road trips as well.
They can go south.
Pretty
because
quick.
Let's just say that
sometimes you live in Nebraska and want to go to Texas.
Let's say the vibe is off. Let's say someone's sister's having a bad day in the car. Maybe it turns into a bad trip. Let's say you take a wrong turn. Let's say you hit a deer
at 2 a.m.
Let's say you have a transmission go out when you're still an hour out from your destination, which I had happen this time.
Let's say sometimes your sister's a little bit of a pill, so your brother sits next to you and puts his just legs over you the whole 15-hour road trip, while your sister, who's at this point is the smallest person in the car, does take up all 3 seats in the back by herself.
Let's just say that if you didn't get used to me having my legs on you the whole trip, we may not be here today. Maybe we wouldn't be able to do this podcast today.
Maybe that's what bonded us to be. It was like, hey, you guys aren't very funny. Hold on. The best way you're going to get funny is this extreme bonding. But good things happen on a road trip. First time I played Pokemon was on a road trip.
First time I played Pokemon, I was hunting. I was going hunting.
Those good pocket demons.
I was going hunting, and I said, I'm going to bring my Game Boy, because we hunt from a blind, which means that you sit still for approximately 5 hours straight.
And don't see any deer.
My dad would listen to
Rush Limbaugh
audiobooks for Rush Limbaugh, and I would sit there and play Game Boy, because that's the type of person that I am. And I played Pokemon for the first time on one of those trips. Also, the time that I was playing Pokemon, I did shoot a deer. I was playing Pokemon, I looked up and said, hey, that's a deer. I started playing again and said, holy crap, that's a deer. And then I had to get my gun because I was playing Pokemon and I was literally laying down on a blanket. I was laying down on a blanket in the middle of a field.
Michael, I want you to be honest with me. How many times did you fall asleep hunting?
Oh, when I was younger, every time. 100%. Every time. In fact, if we went out in the morning and then went out again later on, I would fall asleep both times.
I went hunting twice with Dad.
How many times did you fall asleep?
Both times. I brought snacks one time.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad said that was probably a no-go.
Yeah, because it smells.
Also, we didn't see any deer.
Mm.
And by we, I mean Dad saw one that was apparently too far away to shoot at. I never saw any.
I think I would like hunting now. Something about the peace and quiet for that long sounds nice as a father of two.
Maybe Dad went to bad hunting spots with me because he's like, this kid won't shut up. And he's like, if he doesn't see any deer, he'll quit coming.
Why didn't you bring your Game Boy?
I did bring my Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
But I also wanted those freaking good honey barbecue chips.
You brought honey barbecue chips hunting? And he let you?
Yeah, and a clementine.
Did he know you brought them?
I don't remember.
Because it seems like something the deer would smell, be like, honey barbecue, stupid hunters. Gotta go to the other woods.
Wrong. They'd be like, honey barbecue, let me get some of that. Kablamo. I freaking just made Bambi. Hey, have you seen Bambi?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Bambi because we weren't allowed to.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to watch Bambi as a child because our dad was a hunter.
And the hunter's a bad guy in Bambi.
And so he did not like us to watch the movie Bambi. I don't know if Bambi's any good because as far as in my brain, all that happens in Bambi is Bambi's mom gets shot. And then there's a bunch of animals. That's all I remember. They become friends. I don't... Like, other animals raise Bambi, presumably, and then Bambi is a buck. That's all that happens in the movie Bambi.
Thumper's in Bambi?
Yeah, he's one of the bunnies that helps him. There's an owl.
And,
a skunk.
And part of the plot hole, or plot point in it, is they're trying to figure out how many legs it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop.
3. Well, do you count bites?
Didn't you actually do this?
I mean, I did before, but I don't like Tootsie Rolls. But I did it anyway.
How many licks did it take you?
Like, I freaking remember that.
Why did you not tweet it out?
Because I was before Twitter. Okay, let me tell you something.
There's a life before
I existed in a world before the internet was common in people's households, so...
Was the world a better place then? Or did we just not know because we could not communicate as fast?
You know the phrase, ignorance is bliss?
Yeah.
I think that might be true as far as, like, the world.
We did not know the depths of stupidity in the world until the
depths
internet.
of human depravity were not so blatantly obvious before the internet. And now I honestly think that the world isn't that much different. We just see it.
We just know.
And we know now. And, like, I also think that, like, people get in fights now that they wouldn't have got in fights over because they didn't, like, people weren't posting their political views on Facebook, so you had no reason to fight them. People weren't posting their favorite food on Facebook, so you didn't know they were a sicko.
See, somebody was not like, I like cold apple cider.
And you're like, oh, we can't be friends. Sorry, we must cancel this podcast because I guess you're an insane psycho freak. Freaky Friday reference. I think it's funny to record a podcast with Mark when he's sick because he's not firing on all cylinders, and that's normally me. Like, normally I'm the one who tries to say something and just completely brain farts, and I like to look over to you and see you coming up with a joke in your head, and it's just nowhere to be found.
I can't, dude.
I love it.
It sucks.
This must be what it's like to podcast with me every other week.
It depends on how late it is. No, sometimes if I get here at any time 7 or before, you are firing on all cylinders as well.
But sometimes I'm just like, you know, pants.
It's
what you
funny because I was just making fun of somebody that I've done podcasts with before for essentially, it was a podcast where you had to do a lot of prep work before you could come in, and I was like, and I would do all this prep work.
Definitely not this one.
Yeah, no, not this one. Different podcast. Don't worry about it. But freaking, I would do all this prep work and stuff, and then the person I was podcasting with would come up and be like, crouton! And then kind of look over at me and be like, okay, I guess I have to decipher what crouton means for all the people. And, like, it was a disaster, to say the least. But that was essentially me every week. And it's even more frustrating that I got good enough at that to... It almost seemed like it flowed well as a conversation. Now I'm just trying to talk to my brother, and I can't do it.
It's because we talked so much on vacation. We don't know... We're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about now.
I do think it's very funny that... we generally talk to each other a lot on family vacations. Like, even when the extended family's around, it's like, well, I just drove 14 hours to hang out with my brother more.
Well, I mean, yes. But also we have to come up with that good, hilarious joke content.
We do.
And this is they're basically all bonding. They're like business trips, sort of, so we can come up with better content. What'd you bring to rate this week?
Technobabble. Michael.
Yeah.
You know the moment... This was an audible, by the way. I had a different thing I wanted to rate.
Okay.
I switched to this one.
Okay.
You know when you're watching your favorite TV show, NCIS New Orleans, with mom and dad?
I barely remember New Orleans. Is it the one with the rapper in it?
No, that's L.A. New Orleans is the one with
but
the
I've
guy...
never seen New Orleans.
New Orleans is the one with the guy from...
Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift?
Yeah. The best Fast and Furious. But mostly, just more importantly, any of them.
Okay. Or Arrow, or Flash.
And there's a part when somebody has to hack.
Yeah.
And the things that they say.
Arrow and Flash are so bad about it, especially Arrow.
The trick... See, no, Michael, you're just not piggybacking onto the firewall.
I'm not piggybacking off their firewall's mainframe Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you need to ping back, and... Here's what I'm saying. It's wonderfully silly to me. I'm not one of those people who gets so mad at shows for all of this technobabble bullcrap. I think it's fun. I love it.
Sometimes I love it, and sometimes I hate it. Because, like, with Arrow especially, they're using real words. Like, sometimes they make up dumb words for shows, but they're using real words in all of the wrong way. And, like, you know, maybe when we talk about the Fast and Furious, I've read some forums that say that sometimes when they talk about cars, they make up things. And, like, maybe that's the same thing, but this is about tech. But I don't know, sometimes it bothers me when the number of times that the show Arrow says piggyback when referring to technology. Oh, I gotta piggyback off of this Wi-Fi. Or the number of ways that they just use real tech in real tech terms to say such dumb, impossibly stupid things. Remember the movie Batman? I think The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Where they get a fingerprint from a bullet hole in a wall. Like, dude, or anytime someone says zoom and enhance on his camera security footage.
That's how that works.
Like, the tech is so cool and fascinating if you're a nerd, not like me, but like you.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand why shows just do so much fake tech. I don't like it. You may like it, but I don't like it.
It's so fun. Michael, you're forgetting about all the fun parts.
Name a fun part.
The fun part is where you watch a grown person essentially say more nonsense than your 1-year-old.
The fun part is where in NCIS they do a hacking scene and two people get on the same keyboard and start typing.
And
no,
you're like,
so
and you're like,
stupid.
No, because here's the thing. Who is NCIS made for?
Moms?
The point is grown-ups.
No, NCIS is made for old ladies that think that
Mark
Harmon is the sexiest beast alive, dude.
Which, can we say this real quick?
He's not number one, but he is on the list.
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
Idris Elba won.
What? Yes, Idris Elba is the sexiest man alive.
And I can get behind that.
And I can get behind...
next to Chadwick Michael Murray.
I mean, I've said that on this podcast, that Idris Elba is the sexiest man alive. I think I've said it on this podcast before.
Before he got voted it.
Yes. I called it, basically.
You freaking... Well, I mean, People Magazine often...
They listen to the show.
From us, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, dude, Life's What You Rate It said Idris Elba is so sexy, we must rate him.
Yeah.
I said, thanks. Didn't see the credit there, but I guess thanks.
Yeah, well... They don't want to give us too much... They don't want it to go to our head like it did for Kanye. Remember when before Kanye was as crazy? When he was just a little bit crazy?
Let me tell you a secret.
He's always been crazy.
He was always this crazy. People just didn't know. I knew it. But they didn't.
Well, I mean, not every...
I knew it, dude.
Michael, this is a complete...
I secretly knew it the whole time.
This is a complete... You can edit this out if you want to.
I don't want to edit out. I don't like to edit this video.
No, just because of how off topic this is.
Okay.
Am I remembering this correctly or incorrectly? Or did you have a dream where you hung out with Kanye and Kim and they were both just really cool people that you and Amanda got along with?
No, that was real life. I did have a dream about Kim Ye and West. And what's North. And yeah, they were just a cool family, down to earth. But the real truth is that I've known they were crazy the whole time. I mean, yes, I did. Since before the T-Swift incident, I knew it, dude. I saw the future.
Is that when people thought Kanye went crazy?
That's when they first thought he was a little crazy. But I think they really didn't think he went crazy until the MAGA hat. But I knew the whole time that he was crazy.
The whole time you're like buck wild, dude.
I'm like, dude, this guy is basically Shia LaBeouf. But...
not.
Maybe cooler or maybe not cooler. Time will tell which one of them is cooler.
As I was saying, though, so Technobabble, it's made so like these TV shows that have a lot of the Technobabble stuff are made for adult grown-ups.
Yeah.
And there's a part where they want you to freaking just swallow the pill of two computer boys typing, well, a computer boy and a computer girl, typing on the same keyboard to do a better hacking.
Every television show requires something called the suspension of disbelief, which for you non-nerds listening, aka pretty much all of you, that means that TV shows require you for the duration of the show to not think about the realistic level of some of the things in the show, right? So in NCIS, if you are immersed in that show, you don't realize how stupid that is while you're watching it, right?
Yes.
I can't reach that level with any scene in NCIS ever.
It's hard for me to believe because...
I hate NCIS. Okay, I'm going to admit this. I hate that show. I don't think it's very good.
Hey, Mom, Dad?
Mom and Dad, you already know this, but the rest of the world... I don't like that show. I don't think it's very good at all.
I just jumped a sibling in the favorite child ratings. I'm now under Amanda.
Oh my
for favorite.
Dude.
So, but like, also, here's maybe why I think Technobabble's so fun. It's really silly. It's funny to me because it's very dumb. But also, I watched a lot of NCIS, which is why it's the main show we're talking about. And you want to know what it is more interesting than? I would rather watch a million Technobabble scenes than the only other show I remember watching as a family around the time we were watching NCIS. Do you remember what the show is?
No.
It's called The Biggest Loser. I would rather watch...
I'm pretty sure I got kicked out of the room for that one.
You got kicked out of the room multiple times for that one.
I got kicked out of the room for The Biggest Loser more often because
several times.
I made too many, I guess, inappropriate jokes about fat people.
Also, you were always just playing WoW, so it wasn't like... But like...
I was playing World of Warcraft, and the background noise of that show was too much for me to handle. Same with NCIS. I was like, dude, that line was so stupid. I'm not even paying attention, and it pulled me away.
But like, no, like, they just are like super good at DDoSing, and hacks and firewalls. And NCIS, I like it so much.
2.
It's not a
2.
It is not a 2.
2.
It's not a 2.
What are you going to give it?
4.
I thought you were trying to give it a positive. Are you trying to negotiate already?
I'm negotiating. I figured there was 0 chance I'd get you above a 5.
I could do 4, I guess. It's definitely not a 5, because it's either good or offensive, one or the other. It's not a 5.
And I knew there was no way I was going to
What were you going to go for? Were you going to go for a 10?
I was going to go for a 7.
Man.
I figured I could, there's zero chance I could.
What were you going with before you heard my reaction?
7.
Okay, you were going for 7.
I was going for a 7 the whole time.
Dude, I don't know, man.
I figured there's
so
no
trash.
world I could sell you on that.
It's so bad.
But it's silly bad.
Every time someone talks about it, okay, dude.
Hey, what episode of the show is this?
I don't know.
So, it's silly bad. It's gonna be like this, for instance. When people watch, episode, and then you'll just do some editing, so I say the right thing. Episode of Life's What You Rate It, and they go, hey, remember how Mark just was essentially quiet for the first half of the whole show? That was silly bad. It was so bad, but it was silly, because they normally have a conversation, and this time he just didn't. It's like that.
I just did what you did, and I blanked because I was trying to come up with another joke. And I think it was that in NCIS and every TV show, like network TV show, every single time someone plays video games, they're probably a serial killer. And also, the video games that they play are so weird.
That's true.
Like, there's some articles, you should Google them on, like, Cracked, of just, like, the weirdest video games that are in television shows. Because definitely the people that write, okay, it's either the people writing the shows, either the people writing these shows, or the people that are, watching the shows do not understand anything about video games. Are you gonna do... Okay, for the audio people, he just stood up and grabbed a controller.
Hey, Michael, remember that Shakespeare play I was in? I took a bunch of acting lessons?
Yeah, I forgot, yeah.
I'm gonna show you guys how to play video games for screen purposes. Are you ready?
Okay.
I have to get it shown.
So, Mark is now hitting all buttons at the same time. This is how people play video games on TV. Also, the character on the TV literally is, like, doing nothing.
Here's the thing. Yeah, and they're, like, usually...
They're just, like, hammering all the buttons. And...
Here's my problem with it. Have you... It is 2018, Michael. How on earth... Like, there's no possible way that an actor gets told, hey, you're playing video games in this scene, and what they come up with is...
you're saying it's directed. Okay, so here's the thing.
So freaking how...
I haven't seen video games...
Out of touch are these freaking directors?
I haven't seen... No, here's the thing. I don't think it's the directors. I think it's the... So, it could be the director. So, I haven't seen it in a movie in a long time. But we mostly see video games portrayed in shows that were made for moms that think Mark Harmon is hot. And they defo don't know how video games are played. So even if the director did know what video games were, they're probably directing the actors to, like, hey, play video games like your mom thinks that you do. And that's probably what they do. Because, like, yeah, I could see mom thinking that was just normal.
Hey, I'm going to need everybody to do me a favor and follow me on Instagram, because I'm going to do a video where I hand my mom a freaking controller, and I want to see what she does. Be like, hey, Mom, pretend like you're playing a video game.
Let me tell you a secret about how most people play video games most of the time. Alright, I'm holding a controller here. Alright, now, I'm going to accurately do what I do most of the time when I'm playing this game. I'm holding one stick forward, and that's it. That's a lot of video games. It's just doing that.
Yeah, let me tell you about video games. It's usually... Michael?
Yeah?
How many video games do you think you've played in your lifetime?
I know estimate of the answer.
Okay. Do you not want to say it out loud?
It's a high number.
Okay. Fair enough.
I wrote down... You may not know this. I'm gonna break canon a little bit. I'm gonna actually, I might edit this out.
Hey, don't. We have to keep this fiction alive.
Okay. I don't play video games.
Okay, but let's say
I did.
I had a nerdy older brother. What would the number be for my pretend nerdy older brother?
Your nerdy older brother has probably beaten enough video games throughout the course of his life, including the year that he was born, that it averages about to 3 games a year. Now, played, the number's much higher.
How many of those games required you to hit 4 or more buttons at the same time?
Maybe 1 or 2. And they were both Assassin's Creed games and they suck. But that's all hypothetical.
Now, hypothetically, 3 or more.
Do you count sticks as buttons? Like if you're moving a stick?
Yeah.
Lots. Tons.
Lots. Okay, so on average, 3 inputs are the thing that goes on.
On average, it's probably close to 2, though.
But my point is...
It's not this number, which is, what, 6?
6 of them?
It depends on how you're doing this. It's not that many.
Well, you gotta click in the stick and push it forward.
People don't know.
2.
I bet that moms don't know the stick's click in.
Dude, it picks up pretty nice.
I bet moms don't know the stick's click in.
I want to do a whole thing.
We could do a one-off video on like what do mom thinks video games are.
We should just talk to a bunch of moms we know and interview them.
Moms, what are video games? And be like, hand them a controller. Be like, what do you think? Like, if you wanted to do something, what would you do in this game? Or like, I don't know. Just like ask them.
This is a whole thing I think we could do.
It's like ask them like names of it. Like, what's the newest video game you think you can name? And the answer is they should be able to name. Like anyone that has TV has probably seen a commercial for a recent game, but I bet they can't.
Not even our mom who listens to us.
Yeah. Did you want to know a funny story? Mom told me about the video game Alan Wake before I heard about it. She told me to buy Alan Wake, and I had never heard any coverage of the video game Alan Wake. And I bought Alan Wake, and it was one of my favorite video games ever.
Where did Mom hear about Alan
Wake? It was on the Today Show or some crap. I don't know. Like, it's a Microsoft game. It had marketing money somehow. There are gamers that can't tell you what that game is, and Mom told me about it.
Who made that game? What's their name?
Remedy.
I wish Remedy had Microsoft money now.
They do. Well, they did when they made Quantum Break.
But nobody cares about Quantum Break, dude.
Thank you for listening to Live Switch You Rate It. I wanted, we already mentioned that I'm going to be posting that vlog. I also, like, for those of you that are moms, you can stop listening now. But if you happen to be a regular person that's listening, there's something coming up this week called the Video Game Awards. It comes December 6th. A good buddy of mine who you may know from this site, his name is Drewby, and I are going to be live watching that and commenting on it. We're going to be streaming that out. Look for that in the future. I've already posted one ad for it, but like I'm going to be posting about it. We're going to be watching the Video Game Awards and talking about it. We've been able to watch all of them since they started, and that includes the time that my wife was in labor and she was having contractions and I was timing her contractions while I was watching the Video Game Awards the night my daughter was born, or the day before, I guess, because it lasted overnight. But I love the Video Game Awards. They're super dumb and they're super funny, and I'm going to be live streaming that with my friend Ruby, so be watching out for that. I'm going to do the post-roll ad. You have a joke for us to end this on?
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
How do you find Will Smith in the snow?
You look for the Fresh Prince.
You got one!
I know this one!
Thanks for watching.
And listening. Thanks for listening to the podcast that we produce here at WackMatters.com. Just in case you didn't know, we have a lot of different shows running right now. There's Life's What You Rate It, where me and my brother Mark rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10 that exists in the entire universe. Tune In, where Marcus and his friend Karsten talk about cartoons and their value for people of all ages. Of course, Whack Tracks, where me and a bunch of friends make commentary tracks for whatever shows or movies we might be into at the time. And our newest show on the network, The Music Matters, where my friend Trevor creates a discussion around all the matters relating to music. If you'd like to support the content we make here at WackMatters.com, please go to WackMatters.storeenvy.com and check out our merchandise section. We sell t-shirts right now, and there's more merchandise to come. Even if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, there is a donate button at WackMatters.com that you can use to support the content that we already make and to help fund creative ideas for the future. Additionally, this podcast is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial with Audible.com, where you get to listen to a free audiobook of your choosing and can continue subscribing for an awesome audiobook content subscription. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/WackMatters. We love you all and hope you will continue checking out the content we make here at WackMatters.com. Have a great day.